everyone, welcome back to Be the Influence. My name is Brittany. I know it's been a while, but we are back and better than ever. Let's get started. You just gotta be you. So the title of this vlog is The Road to Recovery. And I think it's important to understand that while you're not responsible for your trauma, you are responsible for your healing. So no, you're not responsible for everything that's happened to you, but you are responsible for how you process it and move forward. So I want to begin with a story to kind of get us going. It was back when I was in college and I was having a conversation with my mom and I began to cry. And I was just telling her how I miss my grandma and I wish, she could see the woman that I was becoming. And my mom stopped me and she was like, Brittany, have you ever noticed that you only cry about missing your grandma the same time every year? Which is why I try to tell people, listen to the people close to you when they tell you things about yourself, because they look at you in a different way than you do. So they know a little more about you. And so at this moment, I began to, you've probably heard me say this, try to process my life, but I was doing it on my own. And so it mentally broke me. I started to search for myself in places that I did not belong, but God willing, it got me to the right place, which for myself was therapy. Before I begin to make therapy relatable, I do want to clear up the idea that therapy is only for people with a mental illness. That's not true, because no one is born mentally ill. You do not come out of the womb depressed or with anxiety. It's just not true. Your mind, your body, it keeps track of the trauma that you experience, and eventually that's when your mental illness is triggered. And I say triggered because a lot of us come from families where mental illness has been a part of our lineage for generation after generation. We all know somebody who, or have heard of somebody who struggled with drugs or struggled with anxiety, depression, suicide, so it's close to us. The first thing I learned from therapy was that I was not the first person to experience brokenness, nor was I the first person to break in the way that I was broken. If you think back to when SZA first became mainstream and she came out with 20 something, everybody made that a caption, a status. We could all resonate with that song. And that's because as your age transitions, so as you get older, your mental health also transitions. Because going from child to provider is very overwhelming. But our generation likes to appear that we have it all together or that we don't need help thanks to social media. So when we don't vocalize our struggles, we're just putting our true pains and feelings deeper and deeper into this vault to where one day we're going to explode. One day we are going to break down, which is what it truly is. And then you have some of us who get help, but because we're so headstrong and so prideful, we become combative with the people God has sent to help us. And then you have those people that are so focused on having it together that we don't even notice, or we're not even aware to the fact that our mental health is transitioning. Those type of people usually don't realize that they're in a transition until they've had a mental breakdown. And honestly, coming back from a mental breakdown is hard to do. Some people never do it. So it's important to start your road to recovery now. It's important to start to understand what's happened to you and how to process it now, because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. And that's why I say we all need to go to therapy and talk it out, because you cannot live your adult life blaming your parents or whoever raised you for the way that you were raised. It's time to move forward and manage our own lives. And so with the therapist, you'll sit down and you'll talk and you'll talk and you'll talk and you'll talk. And by the end of the session, he or she has untangled all of your chaotic strings. When I first started attending therapy, one of my issues or problems was that I felt like a failure. I felt like I had just graduated college. I could not pass the MCAT, so medical school was out of the question. I had just gotten my heart broken and I hated my 9 to 5. And so I sat down and I cried and I told my therapist all of this. And she told me, Brittany, you are focusing on the things that you've lost. not understanding that there's still so much that you have. I just watched the movie Jingle Jangle. At the end, it was said that the magic is not in what you've lost, but the magic is in what you still have. Therapy provides you with an insight that your emotions get in the way of. You see, some things in your life you know, but you're not able to see and comprehend them because you're emotionally connected to your situation, to those people, to that job, to whatever it may be for you. Emotions get in the way, which is another reason why you need a therapist. So like most things in life, the hardest part is to get started. I usually tell people when it comes to therapy, at least attend 3 sessions. Don't give up before you've gone 3 times. By the 3rd session, you should try to gauge the connection between you and your therapist. Oftentimes, if there's not a connection, you can ask the therapist if they can recommend you to someone who may be more of a better fit for you. So I did a poll where I asked, why don't people go to therapy? A lot of people said because it's too expensive. So a few things. The first thing is that most insurance companies have a package, the mental health package, so where you can go to therapy and you're only responsible for a copayment. So reach out to your insurance and see if they have that for you. Or if you don't have insurance, the second thing you could do is ask the therapist if they have a payment plan or a sliding scale. A sliding scale is basically where they'll take your income and your bills, your finances, and come up with a different balance for you. So just ask. Some therapists do have it. And then many employers offer what's called an EAP, which is an employee assistance program, to where they'll give you therapy. I'm not sure how many sessions because every employer is different, but just ask. They'll give you therapy for free. I know it's not longevity therapy, but that way you can go see if it's something that you like, see if it was helpful, and then go find a therapist of your own and get on a payment plan. So it's important to understand that you play a role in your breakthrough. God cannot move if you're not moving. So I want to leave you with 3 pieces of homework, 3 things to focus on. The first thing is prayer. Make sure you're praying every day. God knows what you need, but he needs to see that you're aware of what you need as well. He needs to see that you can vocalize, okay, this is what I need. Show me how to get to it. The second thing is to be obedient. This shows God that you're ready for what you're asking for. God will test you. So now that you've prayed, he's going to test you to see, okay, if I give you this next level, how can you handle it? God needs you to be in alignment. And the thing with obedience is it's kind of like that feeling you get when you know, maybe I shouldn't do this. Or, maybe I should do this. I don't feel like it, but I kind of know I should do it. Like, you have to listen to those moments because that's God testing you. So just focus, pay attention, and do what's right. And the third thing, which to me is the most important, is to work. I like to say, you cannot sleep during the planting season and expect a harvest. We are one of the laziest generations I have ever seen. We do not like to work. We do not like to stay down to come up. You have to go through the hard times to get to the beautiful times. One of my captions on one of my graduation pictures was difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. You have to stay down to come up. One thing about being down, do not complain. God is looking at your heart. So while he has you working at a place you don't want to work, while he has you feeling isolated or anything that you don't want to do, but you could tell God put you there, don't complain about it. Be there, get your lesson so you can move on. God looks at your heart. So he's watching how you're moving in this working season. Stop complaining. Work willingly. You're working for God. You're working for yourself. You guys are a team. Work willingly. So I want to end this vlog with the scripture. We're going to look at 2 Peter 3:9. This is the NIV translation. The Lord is not slow in keeping his promises, as some understand slowness. He is patient with you. If you don't make your necessary moves, then God can't make his. Majority of your blessings are waiting on you. Do what you have to do to be prepared. Do what you have to do to start recovering. I promise you, God will do the rest. Even if after this vlog, you still don't want a therapist, get you a mentor. Get you somebody to talk to. You'll be surprised how many people are truly for you in this world once you start being for yourself. That's all I have for today. Until next time, if you want to talk, if you just need to get something off of your chest, please feel free to message me, reach out. I am here. We're doing this together.